The phone buzzed between us on the nightstand. Once, then again. She was still talking when it happened, mid-sentence, complaining about something small. Dishes, tone, distance. Her hand hovered, then stopped. She didn't look at the screen. She didn't have to. I saw the recognition flicker in her eyes before she buried it under irritation. I reached over and flipped the phone face down. "Who's that?" I asked. She exhaled like I had already failed some test. "No one." The word landed wrong. Too fast, too clean. We lay there in the dark, the ceiling fan ticking like a clock counting down something I hadn't agreed to. Her shoulder brushed mine, familiar, intimate, and suddenly counterfeit. She shifted closer. "Why won't you touch me?" she asked. Not accusing, almost wounded. I stared at the ceiling and felt something in me lock into place. A quiet mechanism, a decision that didn't need emotion to power it. "Because," I said carefully, "you gave someone else the part of you I was still believing in." Silence spread between us, thick, alive. She laughed once. Not amused, defensive. "You're imagining things." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Not anymore. I told myself I was wrong for exactly 3 days. 3 days of rationalizations, of blaming work stress, of convincing myself that distance happens, that phones buzz, that people lie only when cornered. I watched her closely during that time. Not obviously, I smiled. I asked about her day. I kissed her cheek. And I observed. She guarded her phone like a secret diary. Took calls on the balcony, slept turned away from me. When I reached for her, she stiffened first, then relaxed, like someone remembering a role. One night, she whispered someone else's name in her sleep. She corrected herself before she was fully awake. Too practiced. That was when denial ended and strategy began. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is for people who want explanations. I wanted certainty. I checked the phone records. A number appeared again and again. Always short calls. Always late. I memorized it without writing it down. I noticed how she dressed when she said she was meeting friends. New perfume. One she never wore for me. I watched how she rehearsed her smile in the mirror before leaving. How it faded the moment the door closed behind her. At dinner, she told me she felt disconnected. I nodded, encouraged her. Let her believe she was in control of the narrative. Inside, something dark and precise was assembling. I followed her once. From a distance. I parked 2 blocks away and waited. She didn't see me when she stepped into his car. Didn't see how calmly I took photos. No shaking hands. No racing pulse. Clarity does that. It strips emotion down to function. I still didn't confront her. I wanted her to keep choosing him. To walk freely into the truth. The proof arrived on a Tuesday. An email confirmation? A hotel receipt forwarded accidentally. Panic makes people sloppy. I didn't open it immediately. I made coffee first. Drank it slowly. Let the moment breathe. Then I read everything. Dates, times. Words meant to sound intimate and brave. Promises that were never hers to make. I printed the pages. Folded them neatly. That evening, I placed them on the table between us like place settings. She stopped eating. Her face drained of color. "What's this?" she asked, already knowing. "Dinner conversation," I said. "I thought we should finally have one." Her voice broke. She cried quickly, violently, like a storm trying to pass itself off as regret. She reached for my hand. I let it sit there untouched. "It didn't mean anything," she said. "I was lonely. I didn't think you'd ever find out." There it was. Not remorse. Relief that the secret was no longer hers to carry. I watched her come apart while something in me remained disturbingly intact. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I told her I knew how long it had been happening. I told her I knew his name, where he lived, that he was married too. I told her I had already spoken to his wife. That was when she truly broke. She slid off the chair and sobbed into the floor, clutching at my leg like gravity might reverse itself if she held on hard enough. "You ruined everything," she whispered. I looked down at her and felt nothing resembling guilt. "No," I said. "You did. I just stopped pretending it wasn't real." I packed that night. Only what mattered. She followed me from room to room, bargaining with versions of me that no longer existed. At the door, she asked again, voice hollow now.
Why won't you touch me?
I paused. Because the answer deserved precision. Because intimacy requires belief, I said. And you already spent mine. I left before she could respond. Weeks later, I think of her sometimes. Not with anger. Not even with sadness. With distance. I learned something important in the aftermath. That betrayal doesn't always announce itself with chaos. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it waits for you to stop lying to yourself. I didn't lose her. I recovered myself. And once you understand that difference, you never reach back into the dark again.